Thank you for joining me today. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about children and deployment. This workshop is designed to help you prepare your children for deployment. Doesn't matter how old your child is, we're going to discuss different things for the different ages and developmental stages. And this is a great way for both you and your spouse or your partner or sailor to really discuss and plan for the deployment ahead. So today's agenda, we are going to be discussing how to help your children handle emotional responses to deployment, keep open the lines of communication, whether you are the at-home parent or the deployed parent, and also involve your children in the deployment preparation. So our first topic, we're going to want to get into the mindset of our children. So if your child were asked what they thought about deployment, what could you imagine them saying? So maybe their response is something more humorous or funny. Maybe it's disappointment. Maybe they're sarcastic with you. Maybe it's even some anger and frustration. So it is true, children will say the darnest things. And when it comes to separation and deployment, a child's reaction really depends on four things: their age, their developmental stage, previous experiences with separation, and reactions and coping skills of the adults in their life. We're going to go over some common deployment reactions that children of different ages and stages may face. Then you're going to be able to use these different things to come up with some ways that you can help them deal with these emotions. So let's start with infant to 2 years old. Infants and toddlers can sense changes in their parents and in their environment. For this reason, their reaction to deployment is largely predicated on how their primary caregiver responds and the degree of change in their environment. So, in other words, if you're tense, your child will show signs of restlessness and irritation. So it's really important for us to manage our stress, not only for ourselves, but also for our children. So some behavioral reactions for this age group can include a change in eating and sleeping patterns, fussiness or more frequent crying, clinging, not comfortable with other people, demanding attention, timid or less willing to try new things. Next, we're going to talk about 3 to 5-year-olds. So preschoolers are increasing their verbal skills. They're becoming more independent and are really active and have great imaginations. So reactions to deployment for them may include some of these: sadness, clinginess or fear of new people and situations, attention-seeking behavior, both positive and negative, aggressiveness, regressive behaviors, so toilet training, thumb sucking, even walking. Now let's talk a little bit about 6 to 12 years old. At this age, children are really learning these social rules. So school and their peers are very important, and they tend to think in terms of black and white. They are competitive and they ask many questions. The preteen years, so 10 to 12 years old, are a time of rapid growth, deepening friendships, new responsibilities, and academic challenges. So in response to deployment, this age group may demonstrate behavioral issues in school and at home, angry outbursts mixed with clinging, a temporary change in academic performance, increased complaints of illness, so headaches or stomach aches, willingness to become the little man or woman if allowed. Our last group is the 13 to 18 years old. The teen years are really a time of growing independence, as well as physical and emotional maturation. Teens are becoming more responsible and trying new behaviors. They are often unpredictable and question their parents and even the world around them. So, in response to deployment, teenagers may take on an adult like role at home, be moody and argumentative, distance themselves from family, have problems in school, be it academically, skipping, or even extracurricular activities, become defiant, even test the limits or act out. They could be aloof or have a don't care attitude, and even value friends over family. So now that we've discussed some behavioral reactions, we're going to move into thinking of how can we help as parents. So some of the things that we can do for the different ages, we're going to look at infants. We really just want to be patient with them. Hold our baby more, give lots of hugs, maintain that routine. So a change in their routine at this age can change their behavior. So we really want to make sure we're sticking to that routine. Also, this is a great tip, recording the deploying parents singing, talking, and or reading. This is really great because it will keep that parent's voice familiar to our infant to 2 years old. And a lot of times in this age, even at 2 years old, if they watch a video or recording of their parents, they can't understand that it's not actually their parent there. So it gives them that connection and time with their deployed parent during this time. 3 to 5 years old. So we really want to learn to ignore those attention getting behaviors such as whining, and be sure to give plenty of attention as soon as the attention getting behavior stops. We want to be careful not to excuse unacceptable behaviors that are not normally tolerated. Also, keep the rules and routine consistent. Make more time for hugs and cuddles. Talk about why the deployed parent has to go away. Talk about things that keep everyone safe. Be careful not to say nothing bad will happen because we can't guarantee that. For 6 to 12 years old, we really want to be a good role model by demonstrating good coping techniques and expressing your own feelings. Talking to our children's teachers about the deployment, also letting them know when it will begin and end, and discuss behavioral and academic concerns. Help your child express their feelings creatively through art or even writing. Discover their interests during this time. Know their friends and invite them over to your house. Provide additional adult relationships. So this could be with teachers or coaches, even your friends or aunts or uncles, really giving them examples of those healthy adult relationships. For 13 to 18 years old, we really want to watch for signs of depression. So be it rapid weight loss or gain, changes in sleep patterns, interests, energy level, and ability to concentrate. We also really want to work on building that mutual respect. Be involved in their life, but do not encourage dependence. Allow your teens to make more of their own decisions. So choose battles carefully. Try not to criticize music, friends, hairstyle, and clothing. Establish clear limits on things like dating and curfews. Remember that they are still children and need guidance and support from you. Have your own adult support system and do not rely on your children for support. Provide additional adult relationships with aunts or uncles, those coaches or friends and teachers. Keep communication open. Teenagers will frequently open up while driving or even doing other chores. And listen more often than you talk. These emotional reactions are typical of many children who are separated from their parent. However, these reactions may not occur with your child. So most kids adjust to a new normal after a few weeks. It may take others longer to adjust. If you have concerns about your child's adjustment, please contact Fleet and Family for support. Also, there will be many times when your children will demonstrate amazing coping skills and positive behaviors. When they do, it's really important, no matter what their age, to let them know that you are proud of them and appreciate them. This applies to both the at-home and deployed parent. So whether your child is a newborn or 18, helping them adapt to deployment takes time, patience, consistency, love, and communication. We have, typically in person, we have an activity up for debate. We're going to skip this, but if you're interested in taking our live one, we are more than happy to do the activity together. Open communication. So we really want to make sure that we practice open communication. And another thing about this is that when we're working with children, we want to remember that no one likes to be talked down to. Being this way, most children are physically smaller than their parents, so our stature alone, being taller and larger than our children, really can make them feel small and overpowered. This is typically younger children. Some of you may have teenagers who tower over you, but we need to remember that being on their level is really important. So when a person is physically lower than the person they are expressing differences with, they will either shut down because they feel they don't have a chance, or they will raise their voice to compete. This is also true when it comes to expressing differences with someone who enforces pos- uh, positional authority. So really, with our taller nature, we have that positional authority because we're larger, and as a parent. So a person will either shut down or become aggressive. And I think that we can all agree that this is not the type of communication that we really want to have with our children. So next, we're going to talk about ways to improve and have a productive two-way communication with our children. So you may have heard the saying, if you don't listen to your kids, someone else will. Listening is the most important part of communication. When you listen, you have a tremendous opportunity to know what your child is thinking and feeling, which allows you to improve your relationship and really be there for your child. So here's some rules that we suggest for helping us be better listeners with our children. Give them your undivided attention. Listen without criticism or judgment. Listen with empathy. Hear their feelings, not just their words. Listen patiently. Children need help articulating their thoughts. Help your child label their emotions. For example, it sounds like you are feeling sad. Ask questions. Paraphrase and summarize. If you are not already using these strategies, it will take time for them to become second nature for you. Practice makes permanent. Begin applying these tips immediately, and you're going to notice improvements in your relationship. So if we listen without responding, our children will believe we are not listening at all. So here's some tips for expressing ourselves with our children. Communicate openly and honestly. Do not talk down to your child. Speak in a calm tone. Use I statements. So an example of this would be, I understand that playing is fun, but it is time to do chores. Think about how your words will make your child feel. Pick the right time to have important conversations. Also, know when to take a break and try to have a better talk later. A final consideration when it comes to communicating is knowing the difference between words that hurt and words that heal. Child rearing can be challenging in and of itself, and deployment can add to those challenges. Misunderstandings, disagreements, and hurt feelings will happen. When they do, it is a parent's responsibility to demonstrate how to initiate reconciliation. Words that heal are powerful sentences that promote resilient relationships. They are, I'm sorry. Apologizing is taking responsibility for your part in the breakdown. When saying you are sorry, you should not expect an apology in return. You should be sorry, whether your child returns an apology or not. I know that hurt. This demonstrates empathy and your ability to feel what your child may be feeling. It validates them as human beings. The opposite of acknowledging your child's hurt is expecting them to get over it. I was wrong. No one is perfect, including you. Admitting when you are wrong teaches your children that no one is right all of the time. It also gives them the courage to admit when they are wrong. Will you forgive me? Will you please forgive me? Asking forgiveness acknowledges that a bond has been broken and lets your child know that you want to be okay again. It also acknowledges that forgiveness is not an entitlement. When asking forgiveness, be patient. Depending on the situation, your child may need time and space to get over their hurt and trust you again. These words are powerful enough on their own, but when combined, they have even more healing power. So here's an example of a parent apologizing to their child for yelling at them. I am sorry I yelled at you. I know it hurt your feelings and made you sad. I was wrong for making you feel that way. Will you please forgive me? Unfortunately, words that hurt are little words with a big punch. They have the power to negate the words that heal. Words that hurt are if and but, and when they are used in combination with words that heal, they will hinder in the process of reconciliation. So here's an example. I am sorry if I yelled at you, but we are running late again. I know it hurt your feelings, but you have to move faster in the morning. I was wrong, but if you get up when I tell you to, this wouldn't happen. Will you please forgive me? I'm sure you see the difference, but many of us apologize in this way. So, how would you like to receive such an apology? Just remember, when it comes to words that heal, there are no ifs and buts about it. Other hurtful words are always and never. So, here's an example using them. I'm sorry if I yelled at you, but we are always running late. I know it hurt your feelings, but you have to move faster in the morning. I was wrong, but if you get up when I tell you to, this would never happen. Will you please forgive me? Using the words always and never tend to exaggerate the situation and can make your child feel hopeless. These words hurt because they convey that your child is always messing up and will never get it right. One of the best things you can do to help your child deal with separation is to include them in family preparation for deployment. So we recognize that this is not an easy thing to do. There are so many tasks associated with deployment preparation. It's really easy to get caught up in the tasks that we temporarily forget how the changes are affecting our children. You might also be thinking that keeping children out of the preparation will save them heartache and stress. You may feel this way because preparing for deployment is stressful for you. The truth is quite the opposite. Children will feel a sense of accomplishment and belonging when they are able to participate in family planning. Planning can make the transition easier. Change is difficult, but children will handle change a lot better if they're given an opportunity to be a part of the process. So these 4 things, we're going to go over 4 steps that will help you in managing this transition and helping to get your kids involved. So the purpose, have an age-appropriate discussion with your children. Let them know why the deploying parent has to go away. Your children need to understand why something is happening to help them accept it. Picture, describe how deployment will look and feel. Children are visual, so be descriptive. Everyone appreciates a realistic view of how things will change before they are thrust into it. Your children are no different. Eliminate as much shock and awe as you can. Plan. Describe the family's plan to prepare for a successful deployment. A simple outline will also help you organize your thoughts and focus. Knowing there's a plan in place can help remove anxiety and fear of the unknown. Asking older children if they have input into the plan builds their confidence and introduces problem-solving skills. Part to play. What is everyone's role in executing the plan? What role will the children play? Children need to be able to contribute and see the outcome of their work. They will have a sense of pride knowing they played a part in something that was so important to the family. You can use this simple plan during each stage of deployment. So before, as you prepare for separation, during, as new routines at home are made, and even after, as you prepare for homecoming and reintegration. Your homework is to create a deployment plan. So please try to include everyone in the family. Even infants can take part if you just place them near you while all of the planning is happening. So when we started this workshop or this video, we kind of discussed, or maybe you were thinking about, a concern of what's normal. How do you know whether your children are adjusting to the deployment normally? So, the primary difference between a normal reaction and a serious reaction is the degree and duration, rather than the type. If a behavior lasts longer than a few weeks, it may require special attention, especially if the behavior is disruptive to the child or the family. So, parents might want to seek support from other military parents, attend some Fleet and Family Service Center parenting classes, even reach out to new parenting support to join some of their active parenting classes, even seek counseling. Not just counseling for your children, but for you as a parent to help you navigate and work through these different changes that are happening and to create this new normal or new routine for you throughout deployment. If you need extra support, the Fleet and Family Service Center and the New Parent Support Home Visitation Program are excellent resources to help build resilience with children. The program is available to parents who are expecting a child, so prenatal, through parents with children younger than age 4. Because of your deployment, your family will be considered for priority services. So if you'd like more information about new parent support, you can always reach out to Fleet and Family, and we're happy to put you in contact with them. I just want to thank you for taking the time to discuss a little bit about children and deployment. Deployment can be challenging for children, but there's also a lot of different positive aspects to embrace. So things like increased independence and self-confidence for everyone. Families learn to establish goals and plan together. The child and deployed parent may become closer through regular communication. So please remember, you are the expert on your children. With planning and open communication, you can help your children be deployment ready. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us here at Fleet and Family. We're happy to put you in contact with certain resources. Also, feel free to check out some of our other YouTube videos and our Facebook page. Thank you.